Hi, I'm Doc Sanders. We have with us an honored guest today, Senator George Voinovich, who is here at the Ohio State Fair discussing the issues and entertaining his grandkids here on the fairgrounds. Hello, Senator.
Hello, Doc. How are you?
I'm great. We always have burning issues here in Ohio that we like to discuss, and I would like for your comments and your opinions about some animal welfare issues and the livestock marketing board, livestock board for animal welfare and that sort of thing.
Well, I think that, first of all, Ohio is very, very blessed in probably having one of the most responsible agribusiness communities in the United States of America. A lot of that's got to do with, I think, the best agricultural school in the country at Ohio State. And I was very, very pleased that they have taken it upon themselves to go to the voters and ask that we create a livestock care standard board where we continue to pay attention to how our livestock is treated in Ohio and make sure that all of the things that are going on throughout our state are at the highest standards. And by the way, have a board made up of some people that are very competent, including some veterinarians.
In that livestock marketing board, I understand they're going to establish animal welfare standards and the like, and yet I know many farmers are concerned about perhaps being legislated out of production agriculture.
Oh, I don't think so. I think that contrary to that, they're going to make sure that Ohio has standards that are responsible and not like some of the standards that have been put into place by a national organization that comes in from other places and puts things on the ballot and then sets it in the hands of people, quite frankly, who haven't the competency to make good decisions.
And then with that, we know on a global level that we're expecting to have about 9 billion people in the world by 2050. And we have concerns about meeting our food supplies. And would you comment about what happens if we allow those issues to come to the forefront and take over agriculture?
Well, you know, it's interesting that I just thought of this. We have one group of people who is very, very concerned about the issue of global warming and what's going to happen to this world if we don't become more responsible in terms of greenhouse emissions. And quite frankly, some of those very same people are the ones that are going around promoting legislation that could make it impossible for us to produce the food that we need to feed the people.
I think that's ironic. And let's talk a little bit about global warming while we're on that issue. The Senate is going to be addressing that issue, I think, in the upcoming session. What do you think?
Well, I think that we're going to deal with it a lot more responsibility than the House of Representatives. What we are aiming to do is to create an environment where we don't kill the economy of the United States of America, move jobs overseas, and have a situation where we shut everything down in terms of emissions, and the Chinese and the Indians and the rest of them continue to put greenhouse gases into the air. I mean, people ought to know that in China today, they bring on 2 new coal-fired plants a week. They're burning more coal now than the United States, Japan, and several other countries. And if we don't treat this as an international issue, then I think we're fooling ourselves. If it's as serious people say it is, then we ought to deal with it like we deal with arms reduction. We ought to deal with it like we do with nuclear proliferation. And it should be a partnership of the world working together. And too much has been said recently by many of these developing economies that they're not going to participate in it. And for Ohio, in terms of our overall economy, if they don't get the technology that they think they're going to get, we don't build the nuclear power plants that they think they're going to get, then we could have a situation where we could see by 2020 our electric costs go up as much as 77%. Our natural gas cost to heat our houses, 75%, and see the cost of gasoline go up 33%. So we have got to do something that we haven't done in this country for a long time. We have to harmonize our energy, our environment, economy, and the environment. In other words, the 4 things. It was national security. And we fail to realize that national security is very much a part of this.
Do you see us as a country becoming unified on this issue and leading to bring the rest of the world into compliance?
Well, I think that we already have been doing a great deal and not getting credit. It's very interesting. We were criticized because the United States didn't sign the Kyoto Agreement. But if you look at the country that spent the most in terms of research and trying to find ways that you can reduce greenhouse emissions, the United States is the leader in the world. In addition to that, if you go to the United Nations, you'll find out that we've spent more, we've contributed more to the UN to deal with the issue of global warming than all the other countries in the United Nations. So here we are really trying to deal with this in the proper way. That is, we need technology that's going to help us capture carbon and sequester it, particularly if you're talking about coal-fired plants.
Well, that's it for today, folks. We had with us Senator Voinovich. I'm Doc Sanders. We'll see you down the road.
Down the Road is brought to you in part by Prince Agra, makers of Omnigen AF, advancing animal nutrition for healthy animals, and Woodruff Enterprise of Springfield, Ohio.